Are you a manager who is eager to change the trajectory of your career? I have spent the last 23 years as a Fortune 50 leader learning from other industry leaders how to break free from limiting beliefs and habits. On the Might in Motion podcast, we focus on the 4 M's: motivation, momentum, mindfulness, and might. We bring you leaders from Fortune companies, doctors, and entrepreneurs. Their stories of living their own might in motion will inspire you to create your own action plan and achieve your goals. Welcome to Might in Motion. Today's episode of Might in Motion is brought to you by Pantheon FM, Fortunes Magnified. Pantheon FM is changing the world through entrepreneurship. In this community, you will find everything you need to create, amplify, and monetize your world-changing business. Join us at pantheon.community/register/LAUA. Today, I get to welcome Joel Zeff to Might in Motion. Joel Zeff creates energy. His spontaneous humor and vital messages have thrilled audiences for almost 25 years. As a national workplace expert, speaker, author, and humorist, Joel captivates audiences with a unique blend of hilarious improvisational comedy and essential ideas on work and life. He has shared his experience and insight on collaboration, leadership, change, communication, innovation, fun, and passion at more than 2,500 events. His book, Make the Right Choice: Creating a Positive, Innovative, and Productive Work Life, is consistently listed as the top of the top work-life balance books on Amazon. He has appeared on CNBC and featured in the Dallas Morning News, Houston Chronicle, the Kansas City Star, and many other media outlets. I am thrilled to welcome Joel to Might in Motion.
That was a lot of power in that introduction, and
I know.
and all the M's, and I was like, "Oh, I'm in the perfect place. I'm excited."
We like alliteration here.
Yeah, mindfulness, mindset, motivation, and
Marianna. All of them.
That was the fourth one.
That's the fourth one. You're stuck with me.
I love it.
One thing you didn't have in your intro was that you're an iced tea aficionado, and so we have to start there.
I love it. On the LinkedIn, you put in the little, you put in a little about yourself, and I guess the last time that I edited my LinkedIn, and I'm a heavy user on LinkedIn, and so I think I don't know, maybe I was had some low carbohydrates, or I just felt kind of just ornery, and I just put iced tea aficionado, and then just left it there. And then you picked it, and people will pick up on it from time to time. And I love my iced tea. I unsweet.
Oh,
unsweet. Don't give me that. Yeah, I will spit it out. I hate sweet.
That's just wrong. That's wrong.
Yeah, and I love a nice flavored tea. And let me tell you, there are things that make you happy in life. And here's one of mine. When you're at a restaurant and the waiter or waitress brings a fresh iced tea. So your iced tea is already down. You're down. You might not even be all the way at the end. You might have like a quarter left in that. And you're thinking, you know what? Pretty soon I'm going to need a refill on that. And then all of a sudden, I'm going to pour a pitcher into a glass. Here comes an absolute fresh iced tea, perfect ice. And every time I will tell the waiter or waitress, I go, this makes me so happy. You can't even, this is one of my happy moments when boom, here comes a fresh iced tea. And I didn't pour it. That is one of my absolute happy moments in life.
Well, you know what? I would agree, except when you said unsweet. Because I am a born and raised Georgia girl, and it's got to be so sweet that you walk away with like diabetes. Like it has to be that kind of level of like just top notch sweet.
And on the same, we're talking about the happiness. What makes me really upset is when someone brings me an iced tea, and it's like, I call it's out of the gun. It's brewed. It's like out of it's the soda, the Coke, and then iced tea, and it just, oh my gosh. I go, would you put coffee? Would you put coffee there? No. And I'm like, take this away. This It's gone.
Garbage. You gotta have it. So I love that you have something that makes you so passionate and so happy, and that just that simple act of doing more for a customer, because that's how I mean, it's customer service, right? Is something that people can do in their daily life. It's not about just serving sweet tea or unsweet tea or fresh sweet tea. It's like, how can you come to the table for your team at work, your family, your spouse, to bring that metaphorical fresh glass of tea?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It is. It's just that little bit of extra, just that little bit of extra attention, that extra detail, that just little something. And I always make it a point to tell them how happy it makes me. And hopefully they continue to do that, but they probably already do that because they've already made that choice.
That's
right. They're already awesome. But maybe they tell somebody else, hey, it doesn't take much. It really doesn't. And it does. But it's not just that iced tea. It's any type of that, taking that extra step, extra value, doing something more, creating that passion, creating that energy. And that can happen anywhere you are, wherever you are. And it's a choice. An individual makes that choice. And, but what comes back tenfold, 100-fold, it comes back to us, whether it's a member of our team and we create that relationship and that culture and that teamwork, or it's in the scope of leadership and it's helping somebody be more successful, or it's creating opportunity or positive support. And these are all things that I talk about, but they're all choices that we can make. And it's the same choices. It's just like you said, it's the metaphor of bringing that fresh iced tea.
Yeah, I don't know. It's something that now I'm like, oh, I need to reflect on that each week. Like, where was the iced tea that I delivered this week?
Yeah.
And so that's really, really cool. Now, I had another very pressing question.
Yeah.
That I have been dying to ask you. All right, you sign off on everything as ta-da.
I do.
And your posters for your speaking engagements have ta-da. So can you tell the audience, what does that mean?
So ta-da means a lot of different things. It's a flourish, it's a celebration, it's we did it, we're done. I think there's a lot of meanings of ta-da, but they're all great. And when my kids are older now, but when they were little, everything is a ta-da. We celebrate everything, right? And I'm sure, I don't know if you have children, but everything's a ta-da. We celebrate everything. When they're 3 and 4, everything's a celebration. They eat the cheese sandwich. Ta-da! It's like, ta-da, you did it, right? You eat all your lunch, you eat all your breakfast. You stand up. You do something with a ball. You make art. We celebrate everything, and it builds their confidence. Whatever we're celebrating, they do more of. And so, way early when I first started speaking, I started incorporating that ta-da. And I don't remember the first time I did it. I don't remember. I'm sure the first time I spoke, I didn't do ta-da. I'm sure it was something that evolved into it. And I don't remember where that started or when in the process or how I did it. Today, now one of the first things I do is talk about creating energy. And because usually I'm following the panel discussion on OSHA or or the panel discussion of something else that didn't work out or whatever.
Something thrilling.
Not whatever I'm following isn't that exciting. And so it's about creating the energy in the room. And I have everybody, and I explain the story that we just talked about, and I have everybody stand up and think about something that they didn't celebrate. Because when we're little, we celebrate everything. And then as we grow older, we still have great things that happen to us, and we still do great things. And at work, we're doing awesome things for our customers and our partners and our team and our vendors, but we don't celebrate it. We like, well, that's what we're supposed to do today. But how do we fuel that passion if we don't celebrate, right? And that passion and that positive support is so important to everything that we do. And so I asked the audience to stand and think about something they did today, the day before, this week, that they should celebrate, something awesome. And then we count 1, 2, 3, ta-da, and we celebrate. And it is awesome. The energy, and then we do it at the end, and it just kind of creates, people realize how important that celebration is, and how, just like the magician, the trick is done, right? And ta-da is just everywhere. It's amazing how you see it in culture and where it pops up, and how important it is. But it's just celebrating that success and that flourish, and that saying, look what we accomplished.
I think that's awesome. And I know, coming from corporate America, different companies do that celebration in a different way. But at the end of the day, you as a leader, for me, I have an obligation to make sure I'm celebrating my team.
Right.
And sometimes that means, hey, I'm going to go tap somebody else on the shoulder and say, you know what? You and I both know this person did a really great job. But it's going to mean 10 times more if it comes from you than if it comes from me, because you're maybe outside of the team, or maybe you're above me, et cetera. So sometimes it's really cool when you can use that as a way to continue to encourage your direct reports to continue to level up.
Right. And, certainly we appreciate each other, but we just need to do it more.
Yeah.
Right? We can't wait for that once a year where we give out pointy awards. We need to do it all the time and every day. And things that aren't so monumental, we still need to celebrate, because it's our passion, it's our fuel, and that makes us better teammates, better communicators, better leaders, better innovators. That's my first mess up word, innovator. I added an R, innovators. But it's all about celebrating. And if someone's not going to celebrate you, you should celebrate yourself. And I talk about that I have a job where I get a round of applause. That's pretty awesome, right? When you really think about it. I do my job, I get a round of applause. That's pretty awesome. Most people don't have a job where they get a round of applause. Doesn't mean they don't deserve it. I was speaking to long-term care healthcare providers, assisted living. These people way deserve a round of applause more than I do. Are you kidding me? These people are heroes and angels, and they're amazing people. And no one's giving them a round of applause. And I say, you know what? Just because traditionally you don't get a round of applause, you should give it to yourself. As soon as you show up for work, you should just, and people will look at you strange, and you just go, woo, I'm good. You just embrace it, step into it.
I love it. I mean, it's true, because different roles have different levels of recognition.
Sure.
I remember I used to be in inventory planning. Nobody ever celebrates that, right? Because nobody's ever going to say, oh my God, Marianna, you ordered the exact number of visits that we need. Like, if we had one more, we wouldn't have sold it. If we had one less, we would have missed that sale. It never happens.
Yeah. No one goes, wow, the way you plan that inventory.
Well, dead on, right? So
I'm going to give you Marianna here, right
here. Thank you. Finally, it only took like 15 years for somebody to Now, when we talked before, because we talked probably about a month or so ago, one of the things we talked about, not on the podcast, but just you and I.
Yeah.
And we talked a little bit about how you have leveraged improv to really help people embrace change and get creative and all of that. I had did a little bit of improv when I was in college.
Oh, nice.
So I'm a recovering improvisational I don't know.
I love it.
But I think it sticks with you. It was probably one of the best things I ever did for my career, was to get on the stage and be uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit more about how you got into improv and how that actually has impacted your path.
So I moved to Dallas in 1991 to work as a newspaper reporter for a newspaper called the Dallas Times-Herald. And one of my friends that first weekend took me to see an improv comedy show, full improv. I had been to Second City, but Second City is mostly sketch, and then they do an improv section after the show. So it's not all improv. And so this was my first time going to 100% improv show, and it was like in the movies where it's like there's music, there's like a light on me, and everybody, slow motion, looks at the protagonist in the movie, and because this was his moment, right? This is his moment in time.
All I can think of is the movie Ted right now, and like the guys in the audience heckling the improvisational.
Yeah.
That was not you. That was not.
No, but oh my gosh, when I see improv like in television or movies, and they always show it in kind of a, sometimes, it's always like that, like in TED. It's never like, this is awesome. It's always, and it's so funny because it hits so close to home. Or the Office episode where Michael takes an improv class and he shoots everybody in every scene. That might be the funniest 20 seconds or 30 seconds of television in the history of mankind. I mean, that was incredible. But so I fell in love with improv immediately. Yeah. And I started taking workshops, and then as time passed, I auditioned, got into the comedy troupe, and loved it. I mean, it was just, I was doing stand-up at that, a little after that or a little before that. But improv was just, there was something special there that I just gravitated toward it. It was just like an energy, and it was something that I just loved and was passionate about. And I never thought, oh, well, I could be a keynote speaker and I could use improv games, and this is going to be my life. No. First of all, I didn't even know there were keynote speakers, or that there were corporate events, and that people sat in a ballroom and ate chicken and rice pilaf. I had no idea. And so one of my clients was Texas Instruments. I was doing PR at the time, and one of my clients was Texas Instruments, and they said, we're doing this executive retreat. We know you do improv on the weekends. Can you come and do some with us before dinner? And another performer and I went together, and there was no plan. There was no, and it was a small group, like 15, 20 people, all men, all VP level. They work in technology. So if you're like, wow, what group of people do you not want to come together and perform improv for? This would be it. But something magical happened. They loved it. More importantly, I loved it. And the little light bulb started flickering. And I thought, well, maybe I could do this for other clients. But I thought it was just going to be small groups, because that's what I just did. We're going to talk mostly on creativity, because that's how I viewed improv, right? And then one thing led to another. And just like anything, you do a great job, you put that passion out there into the world, someone's going to notice. And so I had a client, and they would say, we got 200 people. Can you talk about teamwork? I'm like, yep. And I just said yes to everything, basically. Like, we'll give you $200 in gift cards. Yep, I'll be there. And that's how it started. Sometimes I got a $50 Chili's gift card and a hoodie. And I, again, it was a different love, but it was still the same. And I was passionate about it, energized about it. And I said, well, this could be something. I'm noticing how the audience members react to it. I notice how they embrace it. And I'm noticing that people are energized by it, because I think they were really thirsty for something different and unique and new. And there was a lot of speakers, as I got into the business, there was a lot of speakers with a lot of great message. Lots of speakers have great message. And you say, well, I want a great message, but I want that speaker to be funny. Yeah. There's lots of funny speakers. Now there's fewer funny speakers that have a great message. And so then you say, well, I want it interactive. I want the speaker to engage with the audience. Now you're talking about very few people.
Yeah.
And so that was my niche. It was fun. I was funny. I had a message, and it was interactive with the audience. And that was my niche. And even at the beginning, though, I didn't think it was going to be my career. I didn't think it was going to be this whole thing. And I thought it was just going to be something that I offer my clients in addition to PR and marketing and writing. And around 1999, long time ago, it kind of took over my whole business. And so I just kind of focused on the speaking, and that's where I am. And now I'm here with you on the Might in Motion podcast.
I'm going to
I
have
just
to do my
I just
intro
wanna
from now
flex
on.
when we
I know. Sorry. There we go.
yeah.
Yeah.
Welcome to the gun show, Marianna. Holy cow. What?
Hey, you got to work out to be able
Yeah.
to drink all that sweet tea.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the might part, you know.
That is a lot of might.
Come on, you gotta, yeah.
Way more than my might.
Oh my goodness. No, one of the things that I loved about when I was doing improv, because I did it at Georgia Tech. So when you
Yeah.
talk about being in front of a bunch of engineers, imagine a bunch of engineers doing improv just on purpose, right?
I'm impressed that there was an improv group at Georgia Tech.
Yes.
I'm very impressed.
There's actually a theater group as well, and I did a lot of theater there too. And every show, there's a toaster hidden on stage somewhere, regardless of what the show is. So there you go, fun fact. But it helped you, like helped me anyway, with teamwork. You know, because you're now having to really trust the other people on the stage that they're going to go with you.
Yeah.
You know, and you quickly figured out who wasn't, you know, and who would go with you, which is such a key thing in any kind of business. You have to be able to create trust.
Right.
What is maybe something that you take from improv that you're like, this totally applies to being a leader in corporate America? And maybe it is the trust, or maybe it's communication. I don't know. But what do you think is one of those big nuggets that people can take from improv and apply in the real world?
I think there is so many messages. It's multiple. It's not just one big one. I think there's several huge ones about teamwork, which you just mentioned, leadership, communication. I mean, improv was designed to teach. It was designed by a woman named Viola Spolin in the 1930s and early 40s at NYU to teach her acting students. And, you know, if you play a game, you're going to be more open and you're not going to have the barriers up. And so there are so many messages in how we work together as a team, how we help each other be successful. I mean, if you want to talk about teamwork and leadership, and we're short on time, that to me is the key to improv. People always ask, how does it work? You know, there's no script, there's no rehearsal, there's no plan. And people think everyone's trying to be, I'm trying to be the funniest, or I'm trying to be the star. And it's not. It's me thinking, how do I help everyone else on stage be successful? What do I need to do to set them up so that they can move forward and move the scene forward and be successful? And in turn, they're doing the same thing for me. And so I filter that, and I filter all these messages to a more business approach for my audiences. And to me, is asking that question, how do I help the people around me be successful? And it's answering that. And you know, everybody knows what the people around them need. And then the hard part, though, is to act on it. That's what really separates the great organizations, to act on it. And that, to me, if you just ask that question, answer it, and act on it every day, you're going to have a great team. You're going to be a great leader. Yeah. There's too many leaders that say, what can all of you do for me? What can all of you do for me? And that's not great leadership. That's not leadership at all. That's selfishness and narcissism. You know, that's it's what can I do to help you be successful?
Yeah, I love that. It's the truly best managers and leaders I've ever had are the ones that create that environment.
Yeah. Like they're helping you. That's their
and
job.
Everybody else. And then you would create a legacy.
Right.
It's now no longer, well, I want my legacy to be about me and what it. No. You have to help the next person so that your legacy continues. If you're just
and as a leader, if the team is successful, they're going to help you reach your goals. They're going to help you, whatever the group or division or company, they're going to help build that success, because you're going to have an energized, passionate group of people that feel that you care about them, that you appreciate. And as a great leader, and I think part of improv too is about giving each other opportunity, right? Having the opportunity to work together as a team, to be a leader, to be creative, to be accountable. And then we talked about, that positive support, opportunity and positive support together. It's really amazing what people can accomplish. And, when I play an improv game during my keynote and I'll bring audience members up, I'm giving them the opportunity and the audience is giving them the positive support. Yeah. And you see sometimes when they start, they might be a little tentative, they might be a little unsure, but as soon as they get that big laugh, you could just see their eyes and their body language, that confidence just build, and they're off. They're off. They're ready to roll.
Yeah.
And they get more positive support because they're doing more, and then they do more, which brings more positive support.
Yeah, it's creating a cycle,
Mm-hmm.
right? And many times, the stuff I've been reading lately talks about how, your brain, like, negativity will stick to it, but the positivity like slides off like Teflon, right? And so when you can create multiple opportunities of that positive reinforcement, then it actually starts to stick.
Right. It's not a one-time thing. It's
Right. So
multiple. And just
yep.
like, when you bring someone like me into keynote and clients say, well, what are you going to do for our group? Well, I should be one of many, many things. I'm not the end.
Yeah.
Right. It's just a reinforcement of these messages that have to continually be communicated, that you're appreciated, that it's important to help the people around you be successful, to create opportunity and positive support, how important it is to be present with each other. That's another improv message, how we have to be present with each other. In improv, we call it being in the moment. How we deal with change and disruption, how we have to be more open and flexible, and how we have to embrace change. To me, improv is really embracing change and not being afraid of it and not being frustrated by it or, being, seeing change as a negative, but embracing it and realizing that you react to change.
Yeah.
You don't control change. In an improv game, you don't control anything that's happening on stage. The only thing that you control is what you do and how you react to it. And that's, once you embrace that, again, that's another thing when people ask, well, how does it work? How does improv, how can you guys work so quickly and think so quickly and put this together? Because we're embracing the change. We're open and flexible to our teammates. We're prepared for the change, and we trust in our abilities. And so what we're doing is reacting to it and reacting positively and building on it and creating something and helping our teammates find that success.
I love it. Now, Joel, if somebody really wants to get a hold of you, like, wow, this resonates, I really need my team to have you come in because we're about to do massive change or we have a big event coming up. So if I can get my computer to work, here we go. There we go. What's the best way? Is it just going to your website? Or
I want everybody to call you. I want everything to go through you.
I expect a referral for that, and then we'll be good.
Yeah. The website, which we're updating. Hopefully, we'll have a new website coming out in next month. LinkedIn, obviously, that's how we connected. Was that's LinkedIn, right. Very powerful tool. And so, social media wise, that's my primary. I'm a Facebook. I haven't been on in a while, and my goal is to start an Instagram page. So, because we mentioned my book, Make the Right Choice. Woo! But this, I could show this, but this is we're just gone because we have a revised and expanded edition with a new cover, 5 new chapters, every chapter being revised. It's like a completely new book that's going to come out in the fall, but it's still Make the Right Choice. We just changed the subhead.
I love it. And that's going to be in fall of 2024. So
yes,
mark your calendars because I'm excited to get the new book.
We'll do another episode of Might in Motion.
Revisited.
Revised.
Or the remix. I don't even know. This has been really cool. Now, for those of you who tuned in regularly know I love my pen and I love scribbling down notes. So this is some of the notes I wrote down today, Joel, from our conversation.
I'm ready.
First is pay attention to giving that extra detail and tell people how happy it makes you when they do something and they go that extra mile. Create that extra momentum. It's a choice to actually show up and provide more to others. The ta-da is that flourish, that celebration, and it helps you and your team build confidence when you actually take a moment and genuinely celebrate wins and successes that people have on the team. You also talked about following your own spark. and what excited you. And it turned into this phenomenal career by just listening to that spark within and going after it. People are going to notice you when you're doing the stuff you really love to do. And it's going to pull you in directions that are amazing opportunities. So don't say no, say yes. Even if it's just for a $20 gift card to Chili's and a hoodie, it's going to lead to really cool things. We also talked a lot about improv, which I'm super excited about, obviously, that improv is designed to teach. It teaches you how to trust. It teaches you how to communicate. It can communicate and creativity. It allows you to be present in the moment. And you learn that you only control what you react with change. And that's all you can control. You can't actually control the change, but how you're reacting to it. So all really great skills, I think, for managers to learn. And I challenge everyone, take an improv class, go be uncomfortable. It's okay to be uncomfortable a little bit.
It's super fun. Yeah. Yeah. I think that's a great idea. Absolutely. I think everybody, and you don't have to be an actor or want to be a comedian to take an improv class. I think anybody can get something out of it from in that perspective, taking an improv class. So it's a great, it's a great gift. And every local, whatever your local improv group, they all teach classes. That's how they fund most of everything. And so highly recommend.
Well, Joel, thank you so much for being part of Might in Motion.
Thank you for tuning into Might in Motion. If you learned something about motivation, momentum, mindfulness, or might, please like, comment, and share. Thank you.